Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we have a story that is rapidly gaining traction across South Africa and has everyone talking, from the corridors of power in Pretoria to the streets of Johannesburg. A coalition of civil society organizations, youth groups, and political activists has issued a 14-day ultimatum to President Cyril Ramaphosa. Yes, you heard that right, 14 days. The message is clear: act on pressing national issues, or prepare for a nationwide shutdown. And this isn't your usual mild-mannered protest threat. Organizers are serious, and the potential consequences could shake the country. Speaking at a press briefing in Johannesburg on Monday, coalition spokesperson Thabo Mahlangu stated that the president must respond meaningfully to a memorandum submitted to his office. The memorandum outlines several urgent demands that the coalition insists cannot wait. Mahlangu didn't mince words. The streets, he warned, will speak for the people if the president fails to act. That's not exactly a subtle hint, it's more of a political drumbeat, getting louder by the day. So, what exactly are these demands? Let's break it down. First on the list is youth unemployment. South Africa has one of the highest youth unemployment rates in the world, with millions of young people struggling to find work. The coalition is demanding immediate intervention. This isn't just about jobs, it's about giving hope to a generation that feels increasingly alienated and frustrated by a system that seems to reward connections over competence. Second, they're calling for a freeze on electricity tariff hikes. Load shedding has been a persistent thorn in the side of both businesses and households. With Eskom tariffs creeping up, families are feeling the squeeze, and small businesses are struggling to survive. By demanding a freeze, the coalition is signaling that they will no longer tolerate policies that make everyday life more expensive while service delivery remains patchy. Third on the list is the removal of corrupt officials from public office. Now, this is a long-standing grievance in South African politics. From municipal leaders to high-ranking officials, corruption scandals continue to erode public trust. The coalition isn't just asking politely, they are demanding accountability and transparency. They want people in power who act in the public interest, not their personal gain. Finally, greater transparency in government spending is a central demand. South Africans are tired of hearing about mismanaged funds and empty promises while essential services suffer. Every rand spent by the government should be visible and justified, and the coalition is making it clear that secrecy and mismanagement will no longer be tolerated. The proposed response to the presidency's inaction is dramatic, but it's meant to be peaceful. Organizers have hinted at a nationwide shutdown, including mass marches, business closures, and potential transport disruptions. Imagine the busiest highways, the main business districts, and local townships all coming to a standstill. It's a scenario that could put serious pressure on the government, all while sending a very public message that citizens are fed up with systemic failures. Political analysts are already weighing in. They note that this ultimatum comes at a particularly sensitive time for Ramaphosa's administration. Rising unemployment, electricity woes, corruption scandals, and public frustration over poor service delivery have already put the president under intense scrutiny. The ultimatum from the coalition adds a fresh layer of urgency, one that cannot be ignored without consequences. There's also a deeper political dimension to this story. For years, civil society organizations and youth movements have been frustrated by what they perceive as a slow, bureaucratic approach to reform. The memorandum isn't just a list of complaints, it's a test of the government's responsiveness and its willingness to engage with ordinary citizens. If the president fails to respond, it's likely the coalition will claim this as proof that the administration is out of touch. Some insiders have hinted that the presidency may convene a crisis meeting in response to the ultimatum. But at the time of writing, no official statement has been released. The silence is, in itself, sending ripples across social and political circles. Will Ramaphosa act swiftly to avert potential unrest, or will he hold his cards close and risk igniting a nationwide protest movement? The next 14 days are going to be critical. And here's where it gets a bit more colorful. While this is undoubtedly a serious matter, you can't ignore the human element. People are talking, speculating, and yes, even cracking jokes on social media. Memes about politicians are hiding under their desks or checking Eskom load shedding schedules have already started to circulate. It's a tense situation, but South Africans have always had a way of injecting humor into serious political moments. It helps keep the mood bearable while the pressure mounts. Another interesting angle is the youth-driven nature of this coalition. Young people have been at the forefront of political activism in South Africa for decades, from anti-apartheid protests to modern campaigns for accountability and social justice. Their involvement signals that this movement could gain momentum quickly. When the youth mobilize, it's hard for anyone in power to ignore the energy, the creativity, and the sheer persistence they bring to the table. As the deadline approaches, the big question remains, how will the government respond? Will President Ramaphosa meet the coalition's demands head-on, or will he risk facing the streets filled with frustrated, organized, and vocal citizens? Either way, this story is unfolding in real time, and it's shaping up to be one of the most significant political developments in the country this year. So, what can we expect if the ultimatum is ignored? Nationwide shutdowns can cause serious disruption to transport, commerce, and daily life. But they also have the potential to create a national dialogue, forcing political leaders to address the issues citizens care about most. It's a high-stakes situation, and everyone, from business leaders to ordinary South Africans, is watching closely. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on what this means for the average South African. This is more than just politics, it's about empowerment. It's about citizens standing up and saying, we will not tolerate mismanagement, corruption, or inaction. And while the stakes are high, the underlying message is hopeful. Change is possible, but it requires action and accountability. Alright, that's it for today's breakdown. We'll continue to monitor this story and bring you updates as the situation unfolds. If you enjoyed this analysis, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment below with your thoughts. Do you think the 14-day ultimatum will work? Or is this just another political stunt? We want to hear from you. See you next time.